Hello everyone, Dan K with Jeet, Physiology and more, and today is day 7, the final day of warm-up, cool-down, and recovery. I'm going to put things all together, so we're going to combine it all. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about a little bit more is your warm-up. I'm going to start with that. Okay, specify to the activity. So whatever activity you're doing, specify that warm-up to the activity. So if you're going to be doing some biking, cycling, anything like that, then warm up doing some cycling. If you don't have an exercise bike or anything like that, you can do basic movements. So you can do knees like that. You can also do lunges or walking lunges. The only difference, walking lunges, just go back and forth like that. That's going to warm up your quadricep muscles. It's also going to warm up your groin and your hips, which you're going to be using a lot on your bike ride. If you're doing some running, that's real simple. You jog in place inside your house, just kind of jog in place, boom, eventually get your knees higher and eventually do some butt kicks, and that's going to thoroughly warm up your quadriceps, your hamstrings right here, as well as your hip flexors, and it's going to get your heart rate up and get your body warmed up. And like I said, with the warm-up, you want to make sure you go into the feel some beads of sweat. You want to make sure you go until you're breathing a little bit heavy, get your heart rate up, things like that. And if it's cold out, you want to make sure you do a thorough warm-up immediately before you go outside. Another thing is, do not rest too long, because if you're doing a warm-up, you don't want to wait 2, 3, 5 minutes before you actually do your activities, because then your body starts to cool down. So that's the important things about a warm-up. Keep those in mind and apply them. Okay, so the next thing, cool down. Venous return to the heart. Like I mentioned that, anytime you do any type of exercise, especially intense exercise, you want to do some things, mainly, even if you're cycling and things like that, you do a little bit of slow cycling when you come back. So if you're outside on a bicycle, you went out really hard for so many miles, whatever, and you want to kind of just go an easy pace, cycle around. But what I still highly recommend, is jog in place afterwards, because that is going to get the entire blood flow back into the body, and it's going to help the body cool down properly, help alleviate muscle soreness, help alleviate a lot of things that are associated with people basically being discouraged to actually train. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people, if they feel a lot of soreness and after their training, they're going to be less likely to go back out into it maybe a day or 2 or 3 days later. Okay, so I also want you to focus on the muscles you use to cool those down thoroughly. So if you're using your quadricep muscles a lot in biking, focus more on cooling those down, do some stretches. Things like that is really going to enhance. Also with recovery is going to involve some stretching as well, some mobility exercises, things that are going to get your body back in check, get your body back to where it should be. Like I talked about elasticity. When you contract your muscles constantly, they're going to tighten and they're going to lose elasticity, or what they're going to do is they're going to tighten and they're not going to want to open back up until you do mobility and stretching exercises to get those stretched back out, to get that stretch reflex going. Okay, and then also with recovery, make sure you're properly hydrated. Make sure you get in a significant amount of protein. If you're not into protein powders, eggs are very fast absorbing, very high quality protein, and yes, I mean the whole egg. And don't eat them raw. Eating them raw, you hinder your protein absorption. You cook them, and you actually are going to get the full absorption and quality out of your eggs. Okay, and then I want you to do certain mentality exercises, things to energize, re-energize. Even if you're not into meditating and things like that, just sit there, take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and just focus on, my body will properly recover. My body will properly recover. My body will properly recover. And you will be amazed at the results. So here is your challenge today. I want you to take any exercise, whether it's walking, running, biking, whatever it is. I want you to just do a simulation exercise. Let's just go ahead and pretend that you're going to do these things even if you're really not. And I want you to do a proper warm-up based on the concepts that I explained, a cool-down based on the concepts I explained, and proper recovery based on the concepts I explained as well. Let's do these things. You got to stay motivated, believe in yourself, believe you can do it, and believe that you deserve it. Let's get out there. Let's go. Smash the punch. Kick that like button. Just don't break it. Let's get out there and do something. Let's go.